It's time! Yes, my subscribers, my Whisker Gang. But before we even get into this video, let me say something I meant. Thank you so much for the 1,800 subscribers. Guys, it's looking really crazy. It's looking like we're gonna hit 2K before 2021. And if we do, guys, oh my god. I don't even know what to say, but I know I'm gonna do something extremely big for all my subscribers and my Whisker Gang and my supporters and all my friends. So for sure, look forward to that. But I just wanted to thank you anyway. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Oh! What is up? You already know what this video is. I'm pretty sure you know. Yes, guys. As you all know, what happened yesterday with all the HU TAO information and whatnot, and how everything went down. Yes, we may be getting HU TAO really soon. You're probably saying, what is soon? When is soon? As soon as 1.3 most likely. Why? We'll go over that in today's video. And also another thing we're going to go over is whether you should summon and save for HU TAO or summon and save for XIAO. Now this is going to be a pretty decently long video, so there will be timestamps in the description below. So go ahead and check those out if you don't feel like, being here the whole time. I understand. Anyway, yeah. So let's get into the video. But before we do, you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Join the subscribers on the grind to 1,900, guys. 1,900, and also smash that like button down below. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright guys, so as you do know, there was a big fat leak that happened about 2 days ago with HU TAO, and yes, that person that leaked it was sued very bad. But not all heroes wear capes, as I said. So many goes. Oh my god, Twitter is insane. Anyway, yeah, she's a 5-star, and more information soon, blah blah blah. But there are some things I want to look at. Now this art right here, before we even get into the characters and whatnot and decide whether you should go for HU TAO or XIAO, I want to talk about her art and whatnot. This art that some people think isn't real or thinks it's fan art and whatnot. Well, actually it was confirmed that it's real, because the person right here that was sued leaked this art right here, and also leaked XIAO's splash art. And yeah, so they kind of like leaked a lot. I don't know why they did this, but they did it. And so yeah, these are official. This is official, her official art for when you summon and pull her. And yeah, so that being noted, I just want to talk about why I think she's in 1.3 as well. It's because when they released this splash art, there was a little message in the splash art for like a semi leak, right? So if you zoom in right here by the leg, it's hidden. You can see that it says this right here. It says "it's me." Now there's another thing to note, right? Because once you put on some contrast on the picture for her, it says "it's me" right here in the ghost. So that's what leads us on, that hints that it might be a 1.3 banner. And as we do know, there is going to be a banner in 1.3 that releases in February the 3rd, and there's going to be a banner that releases at February the 23rd. Now I'm pretty sure that XIAO will be February the 23rd banner, and HU TAO will most likely, take with a hint of salt still, because we don't know if they'll switch everything up, she will be the February 3rd banner, which is the first banner of 1.3. Now, is she worth it? Is she something you should save for? Or is XIAO still something you should save for and still go for and whatnot? Well, let's go ahead and do our analysis. Y'all already know how this goes. Inevitably, we're going to help you decide whether you should go for HU TAO or whether you should go for XIAO. And do realize before we even get into this that HU TAO's skills and whatnot, it gives us an idea how she works, but it's still in beta, not as in the beta test. It's actually in beta, meaning that it's a work in progress, that it's still not finalized. So don't take everything I say like strongly, right? But we do know that XIAO, we know XIAO's nerfs, and I can explain everything about XIAO with his nerfs and explain how good he is and optimal he is without his buffs that he used to have and whatnot, and also explain HU TAO in her current WIP. So definitely look forward to this. This is going to be insane. And honestly, I mean, I'm going for both. But before we even get into this, let me know down below, who do you think you're going to summon for before I even describe anything. Let me know down in the comment section below. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our boy XIAO first. Now, as you know, XIAO, they actually, it's a good idea they put beta, because they did change a lot with those nerfs. And they said they're still going to be scheduled to change more things about him. Maybe they'll give him a couple buffs, or maybe they'll nerf him even more. We don't know. But as you do know, he's a 5-star pole arm. So you need to take everything on this with a hint of salt. He's a 5-star pole arm animo user, right? Everybody's really anticipated to get him because he's absolutely, He's insane. Well, he looked insane in the beta test and whatnot, but they did nerf him quite a good amount. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over him. As you can see, once you level him up to max level 90, he can go up to animal damage 19.2%. Now that's actually not a lot, considering that most when you do a stat progression, when you level them up, most people go to, like, I think it's what, 28.4% or something. Yeah, 28.4% or something like that. So it's kind of crazy that his only goes up to 19.2, but that also is not crazy because he's gonna still be a force to be reckoned with. So them giving him, I think that probably was a nerf, that they decreased his animal damage. Maybe that probably was a nerf, but if it wasn't, then him having that is kind of balanced, considering the damage he's going to be able to do in his Yaksha form. Now we have his attacks, which is just, you know, perform 6 consecutive spear strikes, and then when he charges, consume stamina to perform an upward thrust. These are the multipliers and whatnot. You can look at them real quick. You can pause if you need to look at them, right? Then we have his elemental skill, which is lymphatic when cycling. Xiao lunges forward, dealing animal damage to enemies in his path. This can be used in midair. It's very transversal. It's very flexible because you can, like, jump and use it in any direction your keys can go. So, like, that's why I feel like it's going to be very versatile and very, very good for him to do this. Whether you need to, like, use it to get away from something or use it to just, like, do quick successions of attacks. You can just do an X and just, like, smack your enemies with a lot of animal damage, right? So it starts with 2 charges. And also, these are the multipliers right here. This goes from 228.8% at level 1 to level 15 at 543%, and then to level 10 right here if you don't have the all the constellation and whatnot, for 11.84%. And the cooldown is 10 seconds for each charge, so you're looking at a full 20-second cooldown if you use both charges at the same time, like just boom boom, 20-second cooldown for both to get both back. Anyway, but it's 10 seconds per charge, just know that. And now we have his elemental burst, Bane of all evil. This will greatly increase Xiao's jumping ability, which in turn gives him a lot of opportunities to do a lot of plunge damage. As you know, plunge damage does do a lot of damage, because that's where this comes in on the multipliers. Right here, plunging attacks, let's see right here, the plunge damage goes up to 166%. Low/high plunge damage is 333.7 to 417.13. So the higher you are, the more damage you're going to do, and definitely take, you could jump extremely high with his form. You'll see once he comes out, and also in the beta test that are on YouTube everywhere, so you'll see he can jump extremely high. And most people usually don't jump his max height. They usually just go boom 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 boom, but you can actually go really high with him. Like, it's like he floats once he jumps. But anyway, this will increase his attack AoE and attack damage. This will convert all his damage into animal damage, which cannot be overridden by any other elemental infusion. In this state, Xiao will continuously lose his HP though. The effect of this skill will end when Xiao leaves the field or when it just runs out, right? So now there's a thing to note about this. You're probably saying that HP thing is pretty bad. It's actually not that bad because they actually buffed it. It used to be 3% of max HP, meaning, like, no matter how low you are, say for example you have 500 health left, it's gonna take 3% of your max HP. Meaning, say for example you have, like, what, 30k health, and then you're at 500 health, it's gonna take 3% of 30k from 500. So that's gonna literally just murder you immediately. So now it's actually way better because the buff made it to where it's taking 3% of current HP. So say for example you have 500 health left, it's gonna take 3% of that. So it's not gonna, like, you know, smack you really, really bad. So having that as a buff is really, really good. I feel like it's gonna make it more viable, considering that, you know, it's not gonna take from his max HP, it's gonna take from his current HP. Now this is goes from 3% current HP to level 10, 2% current HP per second, to level 15, 2% current HP per second. The duration is 15 seconds and the cooldown is 20 seconds, and the energy cost is 80. They had it used to be 60, I think, for his energy cost, but they had to nerf it because of how fast he could get his energy back in order to get his Yaksha form. And also, normal attack and charge attack bonus, the normal attack and charge attack damage bonus goes up to 126%, but at level 10 it's 102, and at level 1 it's 62.63. So he's going to be doing a good amount of damage, and all this damage is going to be animal damage, which is also going to be really, really viable and good. Even though it cannot be overridden with infusion and whatnot, it's still going to be good, and he's still going to be able to put out a lot of damage. Even though they also did nerf his normal attack and charge attack damage bonus, it's still at a good number. They only nerfed it by about, I think, about 6%, so it's not that bad, right? These are his talent ascension materials so that you can farm these if you want to start right now. You can pause if you need to so you can get these materials and go start farming. And also we have his passive talents, right? So we have this right here, which is map talent. Basically, it just decreases climbing stamina consumption from your party by 20% and decreases the fall damage by 50%. This is not stackable with passive talents that provide the same exact effects. And now we have Conqueror of Evil, Tamer of Demons. While under the effects of Bane of All Evil, all damage dealt by XIAO is increased by 5%. The damage increases by a further 5% for every 3 seconds the ability persists. The maximum damage bonus is 25%. So after 15 seconds, you're going to have the max damage bonus of 25%. But you're probably saying, wait, Whisker-chan, doesn't his duration only last like 15 seconds? Well, from level 1 to 3, it lasts only 15 seconds. So by the time you hit 15 seconds, you're gonna have that max, 25% increased damage basically, and then it's just your form is literally gonna end right as soon as you get it. But as you level it up, at level 10 you have 17 seconds, level 15 you have 17 seconds. So you have an additional 2 seconds to use his max 25% increased damage bonus if you have your XIAO leveled up on your Yaksha Bane of All Evil, right? So definitely keep that in mind. This is definitely really, really good. I like that it increases your damage. So the more you're in this form, the more damage you're gonna get. And that is like, you have that damage, and then you also have his normal attack and charge attack damage bonus right here. So it's gonna make him extremely strong, right? And then we have his Dissolution Eon Heavenfall, which is using Limb Scattered one cycling increases the damage of the next Limb Scattered one cycling by 15%. This was a buff because actually it used to be 10%, so it's really, really good that they buffed this. They're gonna make you do more damage on your Limb Scattered one cycling by a little bit of a 5%. So it's not the best, but it's also really, really good. That 5% goes a long way, trust me. So basically, the next Limb Scattered one cycling you use is gonna have a 15% increased damage, right? This effect lasts for 6 seconds and has a maximum of 3 stacks. Gaining a new stack refreshes the effect's duration. Now, what this means is basically it could go up to, you could do this up to 3 times for the maximum of 3 stacks, but the downside is, like I said, the cooldown is 10 seconds on each Limb Scattered one cycling. So you would have to actually use skill to, like, Limb Scattered one cycling, wait a couple seconds, then do the next one, get the 50% damage bonus, and then you wait a couple more seconds to, like, literally get your next charge right on time, and then use that one to get the maximum, almost get the maximum stack of 3. And also another thing to note is that his Constellation 1 really does match with his Dissolution Eon Heavenfall. So because you'll have 3 charges once you get Constellation 1, and it has a maximum of 3 stacks, so it's just you're gonna max out your damage once you do Limb Scattered one cycling. So anyway, that's really about it for XIAO. Let's go ahead and go over HU TAO, and then after we're gonna compare them, and we're gonna say which one you should save for, which one you should summon for. Now both of these units are in beta, so you do need to take everything I say with a hint of salt. Please, if you are watching this right now, please take it with a hint of salt. This is still gonna, that's why it says beta now. It's still a work in progress. It is not finalized. This is not the final product, okay? So do not even think that it is. Okay, now we have HU TAO, and she's also a work in progress. She's not finalized. This is beta. She's a 5-star pyro pole arm user. As you know, she was just like Leaf. And let's go ahead and talk about her. I hear a lot of people talking about her multipliers and whatnot, so actually let's go ahead and check this out. So as you can see, guys, they're probably saying, wow, her base attack is extremely low. Now, it is really, really low. It's only up to 106 base attack, while if we compare that to XIAO, his is at 349. Now, one thing I want to note as to why her attack may be so low, because once I read all of her skills and whatnot, you'll see her as only a DPS. You won't see her as a support. She's not a support. She's not a sub DPS for the fact that she might have a transformation. So I definitely feel like the reason she has such low base attack is for the fact she has 38.4% crit damage. I don't think everybody keeps that into consideration. Maybe it's not as valuable as y'all, maybe y'all think it's not as valuable as it is, but crit damage in this game is insane. And having a high crit damage and then having a high crit rate is just going to make her even more insane, because you could build her with a crit rate build but have all substats as crit damage, crit rate, and have as much crit damage on your substats as possible while you have high crit rate. So you can have like 50% crit rate and 150% crit damage, and you're going to be pumping out tons of damage, and it's going to make up for her low attack. She does have really low attack compared to every character in the game. As you can see, XIAO's goes up to 349 while hers is only 106. So it's definitely understandable, but a thing to note about her is that you see this HP right here. You see how XIAO's HP is 12,000? Well, let's talk about this. HU TAO's HP goes up to 15,000. This additional 3,000. You're probably saying, what does HP have to do with this? How does that even make her win the war? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. But before we do, if you need to pause to get these essential materials, go ahead. But like I was saying, okay, so why does HP matter so much with her? Well, if you didn't know, Actually, she has, I think this is a transformation. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really think this is a transformation just from, it doesn't have a description, so we don't quite know what it does, but we do have all of what it can do, right? We have Rebirth's Chaperone. This is an activation. It has an activation cost, which leads me to presume that this is a transformation. It's taking 30% of your HP at all levels, no matter what. The activation cost to activate this skill is taking 30% HP, and then you get an attack increase off your max HP, and that's where her HP correlates. Like, she has low attack, extremely low attack, right? Well, this is what makes up for it. She has a lot of HP for a character. Like, she has a really good amount of HP. 15k, that's a lot of HP, and then that's not even with artifact builds and whatnot. So guess you can put a whole bunch of, you can put artifacts on her. We'll go over her build really soon and what will be the best build for her. But like I was saying, you can put a whole bunch of artifacts on her, have a lot of, say for example, a whole bunch of HP stats, right? Main HP stats. Now, once you have all these HP stats, as you can see, you have an attack increase that is based off your max HP. At level 1, it goes from 3.87%, right? At level 10, it goes to 5.25% of your max HP. And at level 15, it's 6.24% of your max HP. What does this mean? That means you're going to have an attack increase that's based off of your HP. And she has a really good natural HP. And she has a, you could build her with more HP from, you know, artifacts. And then on top of that, she has the crit damage. That's why this makes up for her extremely low attack. She has 106 attack, and that I'm telling you, it's very underwhelming. People are looking like, wow, I thought she would be better than this. Well, guys, you have to put in mind, like I said, she has really high HP, and then she has low attack, and then she has high crit damage. Now, what is that? Like I said, what does that mean? That means like she scales off of HP basically. So that means the more HP you have, the more damage you're gonna do. So it's gonna make up for that low attack she has. And then the crit damage is also gonna make up for the low attack she has, because you're gonna be able to be critting, doing all this amazing crit damage if you have a crit rate build. And you have more crit damage on your substats and whatnot if you build her correctly, which we will go over the build guide probably in the next video or a couple videos after that. You will see, and y'all know. Just make sure you cut my notifications on so you can see when I upload. I upload every day, so definitely go ahead and check that out. Anyway, like I said, she's based off max HP. This is why this makes up for her low attack as well as her crit damage. And now we have the Blood Plum Perfume damage. It can go from level 1 64% to level 10 115.2, and then level 15 152. The Blood Plum Perfume duration is 8 seconds. What does this lead me to believe? It leads me to believe this is a damage over time type of attack. It's a type of attack that does damage over time, is what I'm saying. And the reason I think that is because it has a duration of 8 seconds and it does 152%, meaning I feel like it's just going to continuously do 152%. We will get more details on this. Like I said, this is beta, so it's a work in progress. It is not finalized. We will get a description on how the Blood Plum Perfume damage works and how if it's a damage over time or whatnot. It stays on the field or stays with her for 8 seconds and then does damage, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that does damage over time, whether it's in her transformation or whether it's an item separate from her transformation that she puts out once she goes into her transformation for her activation cost of the 30% HP. So the duration is 10 seconds for her transformation, I believe. Yeah, 100% just 10 seconds once she goes in here, and then the cooldown's 15 seconds. So you could basically spam this, but the only downside is that you're going to be losing 30% HP every time you do this because of the activation cost. But at the same time, it's going to be extremely good, and there's also another thing to note. Her elemental burst. Now, why do I note this? Is because she's going to be losing a lot of HP on her elemental skill, as you can see. But her elemental burst says that it's probably going to do something to heal her, I think. So let's go ahead and read into it. The skill's damage once you just do it raw is level 1 is 272.21, level 10 is 443.36, and level 15 is 549.31, right? So the low HP skill damage. The lower your HP, the more damage you are going to do. As you can see, you will do from 340 on level 1 to 554 on level 10 to 687 on level 15. Now that is a lot of damage considering that she has crit damage. That is a lot of damage, and especially the fact that you know, some of her things are based on HP and whatnot. So anyway, let's go over this right here as well. Skill HP regeneration. What does that mean, you're probably asking? I'm pretty sure that this skill regenerates some of her HP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does because it says skill HP regeneration. This is the skill, and it should do HP regeneration, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be something else because I'm trying to interpret exactly what that means. maybe, but it's definitely something to do with her HP. I'm pretty sure she regenerates while she's in this elemental burst, and it regenerates at level 1 6.20% max HP, and then level 10 is 10.2% max HP, and then level 15 is 12.64 max HP. So it's not current HP like Xiao's how he loses health. It ticks him by current HP, not max HP. Well, this is max HP, and that's why this unit is extremely good, because the more HP you have, it's going based off your max HP with everything. It's not going off current. So it's going off of that final number you have on your HP. Make sure you get it. If you really want her to do tons of damage, I feel like the best couple of builds, I'm gonna go over it in another video, but I feel like having a lot of HP for this unit will definitely make her operate extremely good and make up for her low attack, and then her crit damage is also gonna make up for her low attack. I will keep saying that because definitely she does have that con of having low attack, but y'all have to realize she has a lot of health and a lot of crit damage, and then most of her things that she has is based off of her max HP. So that's why she's still gonna be extremely viable and extremely good. Both Xiao and HU TAO have their downsides, but they're both extremely good units. Now she has low HP skill regeneration, right? This is basically there's skill HP regeneration and then low HP skill regeneration, right? I'm pretty sure this is when you have low HP, right? You have really low HP. Maybe this regenerates your health by at level 1 8.35% max HP, level 10 13.6% max HP, and level 15 16.85% max HP. Correct me if I'm wrong, it probably doesn't mean that, but that's what I feel like it means because of the fact she has a regular skill damage and a low HP skill damage, meaning she has regular damage she's going to do when she has good health, and then when she has low health she has damage she's going to do when she has low health, and then she has skill HP regeneration, which she's going to regenerate once she has regular health. And then if she has low HP, she's going to have this regeneration right here to get all this health back on when she does her elemental burst. And she's also going to do damage when she does this. So I feel like she's going to heal herself, maybe. Take it with a grain of salt, she might heal herself, or this may mean something else. If you think it means something else, let me know down in the comment section below. But maybe this means something else, but if it doesn't, if this really is about regeneration once she does her elemental burst, she's going to do a ton of damage if you're low HP, right? She's going to do this much damage right here if you're low HP. If you go level 10, 554, level 15, 687. If you're regular HP, you're good HP, full HP, you'll just do a raw 443, or you'll do a 549 at level 15. And then if you are low HP and you have this skill regeneration, you will get at 13.6% max HP back if you're low HP, and then you'll get 16.85 at level 15. But if you're regular HP at level 10, you get 10.2, and at level 15, you will get 12.64. Now the cooldown on this is 15 seconds, and the energy cost is 60. Considering that she has a transformation because of the activation cost, in my opinion, I feel like this is a transformation similar to like something like Child, maybe, you know. So she's gonna be getting a lot of her her energy back. She's gonna get a lot of energy back, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna be able to proc her elemental burst a lot. She's probably gonna be a burst unit similar to Xiao, because she's gonna be able to transform once she does her elemental skill, and then once you get her elemental burst, she's just gonna destroy. Now I'm not sure if this is a transformation, because if it was a transformation, I'm pretty sure that she would have 2 elemental bursts. And what I mean by that is just like Child, when you transform, you can do the elemental burst for his transformation, but when you're in regular state, you can do his elemental burst for his regular state. So I'm pretty sure that this probably is going to have that, something like that, but if it doesn't, it probably won't, but maybe it will. If it is a true transformation, it'll have double elemental burst just like Child, maybe. But take that with a grain of salt, it might not, but if it does, that would be extremely cool. And now we have the talent essential materials. Pause if you need to so you can see the materials, so you can start grinding these out, because she is coming in February, most likely. Take that with a grain of salt. She may be the first banner of 1.3, so take this with a grain of salt. Now we have our passive talents that aren't fully complete. Like I said, this is a work in progress. Nothing is finalized. Basically, this is our map talent, but let's go over the only talent that we have. And this looks like something to do with crit rate. So we're definitely going to check that out a little later. It looks something, because the sign, this sign right here reminds me of the crit rate sign on Ganyu, right? So anyway, right here, when HU TAO's HP is equal to or less than 50%, her pyro damage bonus is increased by 25%. And that also leads me on to believe that this is a transformation. The Rebirth Chaperone, her elemental skill, because I feel like she's going to go and do tons of pyro damage once she goes into that transformation. And once she's below 50% health, she's going to do an increased pyro damage bonus of 25%. That's going to be extremely viable, and it's probably going to be a comp to where you have to get her below 50% HP to get that bonus, so you could just do tons of damage and just knock out all that crit damage and whatnot, and all that max HP damage. Like I said, she may have low attack, and you guys may think she's going to be extremely bad because of that low attack, but like I said, you have to keep in mind that she has extremely high HP. most of her stats are based off her max HP, including some of her attack, right? And then her crit damage, it goes up to basically 40%. Just from leveling her up, you go up to 40% crit damage, guys. And that's why I'm saying, for sure, she may have a low attack, but this definitely makes up for it. And also, all of her stats and whatnot make up for it. Even though they're in beta, nothing is to be taken seriously right now because everything is still being edited and everything is still being put together and it's not finalized. But just to know that she's getting attack increase based off max HP, that's why they have her such low attack. Imagine if she had imagine if she had Xiao's attack 349, right? And then she had this HP, and then she had that crit damage, and then what she does is she increases her attack. She's gonna be broken, and they're gonna immediately nerf her. So that's the reason they're going to give her low attack, really high HP, and then high crit damage, because that makes up for her low attack. And also what she does with her max HP makes up for her low attack. So keep that in mind, guys. She is not a bad DPS. She will still be a DPS, and the reason that is stated is because of her transformation right here. It costs 30% HP to activate it. Once you activate something, and it's not a support unless you're slapping it on the field and you can leave the field like Albedo can. But this is not it, because as you can see, it's increasing her attack. That means once you activate this, you have to stay on the character in order to do this damage, which means she's a DPS. She is not a support. So that clears up everything. And like I said, she has low attack, her HP and her crit damage makes up for it. They didn't want to make her too broken to give her like 300 attack and then give her the HP buff and then give her the crit damage of basically 40%. They didn't want to make her too broken, and it's a good thing that they didn't. So anyway, guys, that's really about it for this unit. This is a beta work in progress, and also keep in mind that Xiao is a beta work in progress as well. So these units are constantly being updated, and we will get the finalized update in February once they're about to be released, like the day before maybe, right? So which one should you go for? Which one should you go for? Now, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it's this way, right? We have HU TAO, which everybody just found out. I knew that this character would rattle the whole Genshin community because y'all are simps. And I'm gonna say that with a straight face because y'all really are simps. And I love y'all, but y'all are. So anyway, y'all are simps for Xiao, and y'all also simps for HU TAO. Now, which in terms is better? They're both extremely good. Xiao's getting a couple of nerfs, but he also got a lot of buffs, and he still is going to be viable. Now, it really depends because they're both units that they get HP taken away from them to activate something that does monstrous damage. So I feel like for sure it's really up to preference. Do you like females or do you like males? Do you like HU TAO or do you like Xiao? Which design do you like more? Which attacks seem more pleasing to you? Even though you haven't seen HU TAO's attacks yet, I'm pretty sure they're gonna look extremely nice, and also Xiao's attacks look extremely nice. But honestly, it's down to the battle of which one you want with activation and transformations and whatnot. Which one do you want? You're probably saying, like I said, this low attack does not matter because of the fact that HP and crit damage make up for it. So I feel like you shouldn't really worry too much about that. She's still going to be a DPS, and she's still going to do tons of damage. Now, Xiao is still going to do tons of damage as well. He still has plunge damage. And as you all know, they never nerfed that plunge damage. Well, they did nerf his passive that made his plunge damage extremely broken in CBTs. But he still has really good plunge damage and low-high plunge damage. As you can see, these multipliers down here, right here. But like I said, it comes down to who is better. It's not really who is better, it's who you prefer. But in my opinion, I really want both of them. But I like how HU TAO supports herself, and then also because if this is true, if her elemental burst is true, it's going to be regenerating her HP and doing tons of damage. If it's true, right? So I feel like this is definitely going to be a really good self-support as well as self-damage. And then she also has probably a transformation that lasts for 10 seconds and then has cooldown of 15 seconds, which is not that bad. And then considering that they nerfed Xiao a lot, like they nerfed him by a lot, I don't know if they really nerfed that animal damage. I think he used to be like 28.4%. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used to be 28.4%. I think they nerfed his animal damage maybe. But if they didn't, the 19.2% is still good, considering that once he goes in that form, he's going to do tons of animal damage. And also, he's going to have a lot of buffs because of his Yaksha form and also because of his passive. But his elemental burst is like costing energy. The energy is, it costs 80 energy. I feel like that's the only downside. It has a lot of energy costs. I mean, I know they don't want us to spam it because he gets energy back pretty fast because of his lymphatic wind cycling, doing that animal damage and getting a lot of energy particles. But I still feel like that energy cost is pretty steep. And then the cooldown being 20 seconds. And the duration is only 15 seconds. But if you level him up to level 10, it's 17. And then 15, 17. So I feel like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then his passive makes it even better. And I feel like it's definitely worth 80 energy. but like I also feel like it's not going to be as consistent as HU TAO, for the fact that once she goes into this form, if this is a form since it has an activation cost and attack increase, once she goes into this form to get all her buffs, she's going to be doing max HP damage, means the more HP you have, the more damage you're going to do, right? And then you're going to have another thing that is something called Blood Plum Perfume damage, which is going to do something as well, which we don't know too much about, but we do know it's going to be doing 152% damage, and it's going to have 8 seconds. So it's probably going to be a damage over time, which is going to be a lot of damage over time if you go up to level 15, but level 10 is 115. So the reason I say she is so good is because she could activate this basically every 15 seconds, right? Like I said, keep in mind that this is beta, work in progress. We're going on work in progress right now. We're not going over the finalized details, so we're just going over both units of what they are right now. So the cooldown is 15 seconds, so you can really progress every 15 seconds. You don't have to wait a 20-second cooldown and also get 80 energy back just to transform and then lose HP and then do tons of damage, because in this form you can do tons of damage and lose 30% HP and not lose damage, not lose HP over time. And then also once you do her elemental burst from getting all the energy particles from doing her rebirth chaperone, you will basically be able to get your HP back. I'm pretty sure that's what this means, guys. If it doesn't, let me know in the comment section below. Skill HP regeneration. Right here it says how much it can regenerate you off your max HP, and then low HP. The less HP you have, the more it's going to regenerate you. That's what I feel like it's going to do. And if it does that, like I said, it's going to regenerate your HP. So basically you could keep activating this, losing all that HP, and then once you lose all that HP, instead of being like, I gotta switch and heal with, you know, a healer or something, or Barbara or something. Well, I mean, you can heal with Barbara to put on her elemental skill, so you can have that water ring and then go into HU TAO and then opt for the vaporized damage, which would do tons of damage, especially considering that HU TAO has crit damage. But like I said, guys, I'm going to go over the builds and whatnot and the teams and whatnot later, but that's just an idea to keep in mind. But like I said, you can do that and heal, but you really don't need to, for the fact that she has skill HP regeneration, and then she has low HP regeneration, which means the lower HP, she's going to heal more. And the regular HP, this is what she's going to heal once she goes into this elemental burst. And then it's not only healing her, it's going to do tons of damage. If you have low HP, you're going to do that much damage. It's like a plus, because if you have low HP, you're going to do tons of damage, and then you're going to heal a lot. But if you just have, you know, regular HP, you're going to still do good damage, and then you're going to heal a lot as well. So I feel like she's just balances herself out for the fact of losing that chunk of HP and then giving it right back from her elemental burst. And then her passive makes her extremely broken as well, for the when HU TAO's HP is equal to or less than 50%, the pyro damage bonus increased by 25%. Especially for her activation, once she goes into that activation for that cost 30% HP, she continuously does pyro damage. This will definitely be very viable, especially once she hits 50% or below 50% HP. And then once you get your elemental burst, you can just get all that HP back. So I feel like definitely in terms of consistency, she doesn't really need a super healing support, because she can heal herself. That's what it looks like from her elemental burst. It looks like she can heal herself, and if she can't, let me know down in the comment section below, because that's what I feel like, and that's what, when I read this, what I feel like she can do. So XIAO, he can't really heal himself. You have to have a healer next to him, and preferably if you have Jean, it would be insanely good to have Jean for the cooldown bonus for having double animal resonance. And then also for the healing bonus she gets. She gives you so much healing, and I feel like she'll be a battery, like people say. She'll be a battery for XIAO. So for sure, I feel like he needs a duo to help him heal all that health back after he loses health. But the good thing about him when he loses health is that it only, you know, you're only losing current HP and not max HP, and this lasts for a while, and then you're getting buffed to the max because of Yaksha form, and then you're getting buffed to the max because of his passive Tamer of Demons. So I feel like for sure both units are extremely broken, but which should you opt for? It's really up to preference, but who would I opt for if I was free to play? I would probably opt for HU TAO, in my opinion. If I was free to play, I'd opt for HU TAO. I'm not saying you have to opt for HU TAO. That's just my preference and who I would go for. For the fact she seems extremely solid, and this low attack doesn't affect me because, like I said, her base HP and her crit damage definitely make up for that. And she's gonna have, you could build her so good with that crit damage as well as that HP, having all that HP, and she's basically based off of max HP, not current HP, so it makes her even more viable. The damage she does is gonna be even more viable the more HP you have. So for sure, I feel like building her and whatnot will be it will be fun, and also it would be insane because of the HP and the crit damage build. And then having that, I'm telling you, that low attack does not matter when you have all these stats. It would make her broken if she had high attack. Like I said, they would just have to nerf her immediately, basically. So definitely, but we don't really know everything. Like I said, this is beta. This is a work in progress. It's not finalized. So I feel like definitely it wouldn't even be like it wouldn't even be like, oh my god, this one's better than this one. No, we're never gonna know which one's better than which one until they actually release the day of their release and when we could play them. So I feel like, in my opinion, who I'd go for was HU TAO, for the fact she could support herself, and for the fact she can also like just like destroy with pyro damage. And I feel like that's extremely a good attribute. And also being able to heal herself, what it looks like she can do on her God Soother is healing herself, which would be absolutely insane for a DPS to be able to heal herself and then do tons of damage as well. And for XIAO, for free-to-play players, I feel like honestly you should still stay for XIAO probably, because not only is he released after HU TAO, which gives you more time to save for him, I feel like it's just, you know, it's worth it. Even though he got nerfed a lot, he's still going to do tons of damage because of plunge damage. He's still going to be a meta-changing character because of his ability to spam plunge damage. Unlike no character in the game can spam plunge damage like XIAO. And I feel like definitely that should be taken into consideration, especially his Yaksha mask for how strong it makes him, and then plus his passive, which makes his Yaksha mask even stronger. So I feel like definitely he is still something you guys should save for. But in my opinion, who I'd save for, because of me, it's just me on like how this unit looks, how this unit works, and how good she is, I just would summon for HU TAO because of the all black and then the red eyes and the little symbol that she has in her eyes. And also she knows only, and she just looks amazing, and she has amazing stats. Even though her attack's low, like I said, this makes up for it, crit damage and her base HP. She's so good. I feel like she's going to be a really good unit, and she's going to be one to be reckoned with for sure. So, and also she has a lot of defense, if you didn't notice. XIAO doesn't have a lot of defense, but she has almost 900 defense, just base defense. So that's extremely good. But anyway, that's really about it. I feel like I would go for HU TAO if I was free to play, and that's my opinion. But I feel like free to play players should still keep saving for XIAO. You guys know what to do. But honestly, if you have enough primal gems, you could go for both if you want. Like, it's up to you truly, but just know you need 28,800 primal gems to get one of these guaranteed. Like, if you want HU TAO guaranteed, 28,800 primal gems. If you want XIAO guaranteed, 28,800 primal gems. You would need basically a total of 57,000 primal gems. 57,000, actually it's actually 57,600 primal gems. You need a total of 57,600 primal gems if you want both of these units, because that will basically give you the guaranteed if you don't pull them on the first 90 pull. So yeah, 57,600 primal gems if you want both units. But if you only get one, if you could opt for one, who would you opt for? I feel like HU TAO is what I'd opt for, in my opinion. From what I read, I hope this helped you figure out who you'd opt for. But XIAO should be your safest option. You should still go for XIAO for the fact he's still going to be good. Plunge damage is still going to be meta changing. You're not going to get hit while you're doing that plunge damage, and you're just going to chunk out tons of damage. And you can also run a Gene with him if you have Gene for the support and whatnot. And you could definitely do some damage with him. It'll be insane, right? And I'm actually thinking about a XIAO Albedo comp, which would be insane as well. I feel like they'll work, because Albedo is so versatile on teams, it makes no sense. But anyway, we'll save that for another video. Basically, guys, XIAO is who free-to-play players should still opt for. HU TAO is who I'd opt for, though. And yeah, I honestly, it was my opinion. In my opinion, I just want to describe both of these units, how good they are, you know, their downfalls, but also their come-ups and whatnot. And I hope this did help you get an idea of who you should grab, whether that's HU TAO or whether that's XIAO. I hope this gave you an idea of who you should grab and who you want. So definitely let me know down in the comment section below who you're going to go for, who you're going to summon for, who you're going to save your primal gems for. I would love to know, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a lot of HU TAOs though, because you guys are simps and you love the character design, and she seems pretty good, like extremely solid. She seems like a unit that's going to be able to do a lot of damage, a unit that's going to be able to support herself, and a unit that's just going to have a lot of HP for the field, for sure. Right? So, anyway, that's about the end of the video. I'm so happy that HU TAO might be coming in 1.3. If she does come in 1.3, definitely, I feel like this is going to be a tough war between XIAO and HU TAO. So, yeah, for sure, though, thank you for everybody who came out to watch this. I hope this did help you get to your conclusion. I'm sorry about my phone. I hope this did help you get to your conclusion. And, yeah, so get ready for these summons. We might get HU TAO 1.3, and if we do, good luck, boys. I hope you get what you want. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Whisker Chan out. Peace out.